All right, well, again, I'm joined here by some of the SNK developers and staff. We have Yasuyuki, the Kane KOF producer. We have Joshua Weatherford. Of course, we have Crispy Kaiser. Thank you guys so much for doing this. It's really an honor for being here and talking to you guys. So, first question that I have. So, it has been 25 years since we had, since the last Fatal Fury game. Now, how is City of the Wolves a revival that is for both the old Fatal Fury fans as well as, hopefully bring in new fans to the franchise?
そうですね。画廊伝説の前作から、25年経ちましたが、その復活について、昔のファンと今から新しいファンを作るにあたってどういうふうに工夫して作っているんでしょうか。
そう、昔のファンはストーリーが途中で終わっちゃってるので、そこが一番気になるだろうと、そこはしっかりと、今の人が見ても分かるように、作っていきましょうというのを気をつけました。今のファンは、画廊伝説のことはほとんど知らない人もいると思うので、全てが新鮮だと思うから、今の格闘ゲームとして最高に面白いものを作れば間違いなく受け入れてもらえると思ってます。
So of course, one of the main things that we had to get down 100% was the story, because with Mark of the Wolves, it ended on a bunch of cliffhangers for a bunch of characters. So fans that have been following since Mark of the Wolves, I'm sure they wanted to know what's going to happen there. So we really wanted to make sure that the story was a great follow-up. When it comes to new fans, we're making a modern fighting game, so it has to have it has to match a lot of the expectations fighting game plans are looking forward to. But also keeping that with old fans that they can still recognize as a Fatal Fury game. So there's definitely a lot of effort being put on both gameplay and story.
Now,
do like half.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I would also say that one thing that's very common recently is we added a new control system. So that's one thing that was kind of thinking about from the beginning. We've kind of dabbled in that in the past with stuff like SNK Heroines, trying to make a simplified control system and such. So this time it kind of that has built up to the point where we were finally able to kind of make a very clear distinction between arcade and smart style. They both have their own merits and demerits, and we're very interested to see how that kind of shapes the competitive scene in general. Because there is kind of old heads versus new heads a lot in a lot of the various fighting games. So I'm kind of curious how that'll work out in City of the Wolves.
Now, Fatal Fury was known to have the multi-lane system in the old games. Were there at any point during development or early development where you thought about maybe including some sort of nod or the multi-lane system in the new game?
そうですね。昔の画廊伝説って複数のレーンがあってたんじゃないですか。で、今作の新作フェイトルフューリーシティローズに関しては、一応見てる限りはもうレーンは一つしかないんですけれども、開発中に、そういう考えとか試しとかあったんでしょうか。
笑顔でノーコメント。
There's no comment with a smile.
Okay, yeah. All right, that's fair enough. Now, you mentioned story, and SNK in general, the SNK IPs have great story and lore. So, how are you planning on bringing up to speed the new fans or people who didn't, were not following the story from the first game? Because again, 25 years difference. What's the plan on how to bring them up to speed in terms of lore and story?
そうですね。画廊伝説で言えばやっぱりストーリー面を重視されているゲームシリーズのではないかと思われるんで。で今回の新作は、さっき述べたように25年前作と25年ぐらいの距離があるんですけれども、あまりその昔のストーリーが詳しくないユーザーと、あるいはストーリーがすごい詳しい人とか、そういうストーリーの展開について、どういうふうに考えているのでしょうか。
これからのプロモーションの中で昔のこともちょっと皆さんに深く分かってもらえるようにやっていけたらなと考えています。あとはゲームの中でもできるだけ分かりやすくするようにしています。
Yeah, definitely. We've been taking strides to make sure that the story that people who are new to it understand what's going on, but people that have been following for decades now also can kind of pick up and move on. So we're trying to make this as streamlined as possible to make it a fully like fleshed out story for people who really look for that in their fighting game.
And yeah, also just in the promotion and the marketing going forward, trying to kind of infuse some of that knowledge and lore and stuff in there. It's kind of one thing that we want to try to work towards, I would say. And also, I would say that one thing that I'm proud of at SNK is like we have a lot of legacy content on modern consoles, whether it's the ports from Hamster. Pretty much like every Fatal Fury game can be picked up on like Switch, for example. So I would love for people to pick up those games and play a little bit before City of the Wolves, just to prime themselves for it, because I think preservation is a very big topic in the industry, and I feel like we're kind of one of the leaders, honestly, in that. Like, I should probably be a little bit more humble, but I've worked on a lot of the Code Mystics ports. Garo Mark of the Wolves has an amazing port with rollback netcode and such. So I really do think that I just want more people to already play with the content that is there.
Just the story is best experienced instead of just gone through like a Wikipedia. You definitely experience it for yourself, play through the characters, and hope you enjoy it.
And the last trailer showed the episodes of Showdown. The trailer says it's an RPG-like mode. Is this going to be used to flesh the story of Fatal Fury, or is it more of a gameplay perspective, kind of like the Street Fighter Alpha 3 on PSP, the World Tour mode, the old one, not the new one? Or is it more story based?
さっきの発表でUST モードが発表されてたんですけれども、ストーリーに関しては、これがなんていうの、その前回のストーリーをもっと深く掘るためのモードなのか、あるいはもう単純にもうワールドなんかもうスト3のみたいなものなのか、どういうふうなものでしょうか。
その03のワールドツアーモードみたいな感じで遊びながら、サウスタウンの中で過去にここでこういう戦いがあったよねとか、こういうことがあったよねってエピソードをなんていうかな、勉強していける、理解を深めることができるモードにしています。
Yeah, it actually it kind of has like the best of both worlds in that sense. It does have like the World Tour mode where like you go to certain areas and you fight and you battle out, but there's also you're going to like historical places in the Fatal Fury timeline, right? So you're actually going there and you're seeing like, oh yeah, there was a battle that happened here, and so you get to learn more. So it definitely does flesh out the storyline and the setting of Fatal Fury, and that's kind of what we wanted to give fans for sure.
Yeah, that's someone who loved the lore of the story. I think this is music to my ears. The trailer also touches up a little bit on the online modes. It talked about ranked and unranked. Now, this brings me to a question. The lobbies. The King of Fighters 14, I think a lot of people agree with this, is that it has one of the best lobbies in terms of online fighting games. In 15, it was a bit different. It wasn't the same. So, is there any chance that the City of the Wolves lobbies will be similar to the King of Fighters 14?
その発表の中で、ランクマッチとかカジュアルマッチとか発表されてたんですけれども、もうロビー自体はまだ見てないんですけれども、昔の各SNK の作品キングファイターズ14は一応ロビー上では、どの格闘ゲームよりもすごい優れたものだと、思われてるんで、今回の、シティオルールスでは、どういうふうな、ロビーシステムを期待できますでしょうか。
そうですね、そのあたりについては今後の、発表とか、あとは、ベータテストどっかでできると思うんですけど、そのあたりを期待して待っておいてください。
Yeah, we definitely have more plans to talk about this in the future, so definitely stay tuned to that. And we do have plans for a beta test. Can't say when, but definitely look forward to that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any?
No.
It's okay. Cool.
Okay. Thank you. Now another feature was the clones that was announced also in the trailer. Now, how is this separate, like different from the Samurai Showdown Ghost battle? And is it going to be in a way, like for example, if I want to look for, let's say, Xiao Hai's clone, I want to train against virtual Shanghai? Was that something that's going to be possible in this mode?
またね、発表された内容なんですけれども、クローンについてお伺いしたいと思います。で、こういうクローンっていうのは、サムライスピリッツの、ゴーストと同じような機能だと思ってもいいでしょうか。そして例えばあるプロの、選手のクローンをダウンロードして、もう戦うのが可能なんでしょうか。
プロのプレイをダウンロードして遊ぶというタイプのものではなくて、侍でやってたことをもうちょっと発展させたような感覚をイメージしてくれたらいいと思います。もっとよく遊びやすくなっていると思います。
So about its comparison to Samurai Showdown, happy to say that it's kind of like a development on top of that. So it's going to have a lot more features that players can look forward to. So it's definitely an improvement on that. So it's a lot more streamlined. So it should be easier to play. Unfortunately, about downloading specific players' copies, clones, that's not planned right now. What we have. So.
Now, City of the Wolves is the first modern fighting game that has, the characters have their own individual stages, something we haven't seen in a very long time. Now, what was the idea behind this? Is something that was planned from the beginning, and what was the idea of bringing this feature that we haven't seen since 2D fighters, pretty much?
Are you talking about player stages?
Yes.
そうですね、発表された内容ではもう各キャラは自分のステージがあるだそうで、これはもう今のゲーム業界と格闘ゲーム業界ではちょっと最近珍しくなってきたことだと思われていますんで、シティ・ロボルスでは、キャラはもう自分のステージを作ろうという考えはどこからあったんでしょうかとか。
開発の当時から考えてたか、
できるだけ多くはやろうとしてるけどね、限界はあるよって言っといてもらいます。
ステージ数ってね。そうそう。Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we wanted to bring a lot of stages to the game, and that was one way of having each character have their own stage. But of course, there's a limit to what you can do in terms of development. But yeah, it was mostly bring as many stages as possible.
Yeah, and I would say it's partially just almost what would you say? Almost like an evolution of our production process. We've gotten a lot more streamlined. We're a lot more efficient at that. So I think it's just easier for us to kind of produce that kind of content and volume compared to previous games. So we're always getting better.
For sure.
Now, speaking of stages, there's a mystery going on social media regarding the amusement park stage. A lot of people say, whose stage is that? And one of the cameos we've seen in some of the stages is Raiden, the character of Raiden. Now, obviously you can't tell me what that stage is for, but if a character is a cameo, does it still have chances to be playable at a certain point, or no?
ツイッター上ではいろんな陰謀というかもういろいろな人の考えがあるんで、さっき述べた各キャラは自分のステージあるんじゃないですか。じゃあアミューズメントパークは誰のステージなのか、まずその中でキャミオのキャラ、特にライデンが登場してたんですけれども、キャミオだからキャラになるわけではないんだよっていうのがあるのか、あるいは可能があるのか、そういう2つのことをお伺いしたいんです。でもちろん今言えない、多分言える範囲でお願いします。
予定は未定ですね。
予定は未定、どういうふうに訳したらいいんだ。どういうふうに訳したらいいんだろう。Well, I don't think a cryptic.
Wait and see, kind of?
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Yes, wait and see. Yes, that sounds better.
Okay. Now, as I said, the SNK IP have great storytelling. Are there plans to adapt these, whether it's City of the Wolves, FATAL Fury, King of Fighters, to mangas and animes? SNK used to do that back in the early 90s, but we haven't seen something like that for a very long time.
旧 SNK は、やっぱいろんなゲームを、ゲームだけではなくいろんな形で、楽しめてた、時期あったんですけれども、今回もフェイタルフューリー、シティ・ロボルスもゲーム以外のコンテンツ、漫画や映画、アニメとかを 考えてますでしょうか？
まあ、できればやりたいですけど、今発表できることはまだないですね。
I mean, sure. Yeah, of course we would love to. But there's nothing that we can really announce now that's in the works. Yeah.
Any chances of Masami Obari-san doing something for City of the Wolves, like King of Fighters 15?
15と同じように大張監督が、なんか携わることがあるのでしょうか？期待できますでしょうか？
I'm not sure. He's really busy with King Nikuman right now. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. He's really.
いや、彼は忙しすぎる。
Yeah, I mean, he's really too busy. You know, he's really like kind of had that big hit with Brave Burn, and yeah, he's now working on King Nikuman. So, you know, he's really busy. He's a really top level talent. So you never know.
Wish him the best of luck, though.
Yeah, we love the guy.
We love him.
During the King of Fighters, the King of Fighters 15 early days, and still now, a lot of people are asking about more costumes, more alt costumes. Now, for City of the Wolves, are there plans to have? Now, we've already seen Terry's alt costume. Mai is another question I might ask later about it. But in terms of, are there plans for the roster to all of them have, alternate costumes?
まあ、レコスの質問なんですけれどもね、テリーとマイが発表されたんですけども、他のキャラも期待できますでしょうか？
頑張ります。
We'll try our best.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, like, obviously we understand the what would you say, the request from the fan base for it, but and it's very hard for them to understand that those resources have to come from somewhere, and there's a lot of stuff that we're not even talking about yet that's still in the works. So it's just one of those things where there's always a limit to how much we can create, and you know, to make sure that it all looks good, the shaders are perfect for each costume and such. It's a lot more work than expected, I would say, but yeah, we'll do our best, as he said.
Sounds good. Now, speaking of alt costume, we saw my Shiranui yesterday and how she changed. Is that so? Just to make that clear, that's a change that she does in her hidden gear. That's not an alternate costume that we saw.
マイが発表されたんですけれども、そのトレーラー中にもう自分のヒデンギアでは、まあ典型的なマイになってたんですけれども、それがあれコスなのか、あるいはもうただもうゲームプレイだけで。Gameplay. It's just gameplay. It's not an alternate costume.
Okay. So the King of Fighters is celebrating its 30th anniversary. Actually, it happens to be this week. Are there any plans to celebrate the franchise?
はい、まあキングオブファイターズはなんと今週で30周年迎えていきましたけれども、その30周年に関してなんかお祝いとか何か予定してますでしょうか？
なんていうか、マーケティング部門に聞いてください。
Yeah, that's more of a marketing question, so you have to ask the marketing guys on that one. We're too busy making the other games. Yeah.
Sounds good. Now we know that Terry Bogard and Mai Shiranui are in Street Fighter 6. Any chances for this that it goes the other way as well? That we get some Street Fighter characters maybe in Fatal Fury, more seasons down the line?
まあ他社のゲームと携わるんですけれども、スト6ではもうテリーとマイが発表されてたんですけれども、まあでもこの道は一方通行なのか、あるいはもうそれを SNK でも同じような期待はできますでしょうか？
まあ頑張ります。
I mean, we'll do our best.
All right.
There's really not much.
Another game that is favorite of mine is Samurai Showdown, the 2019 version. I believe there's still life to that game. I believe there's still potential for that game. Do you think we might see another version of the game, maybe with a DLC character or just something, or maybe more, just online features or something, or is it time to move on to the next chapter of Samurai Showdown?
その新作サムライスピリッツに関してですね、個人的にそのゲームがまだまだ、寿命あると思っていますが、そうですね、新しいバージョンでもうなんか新しい DLC やもうなんかオンラインモードを期待した方がいいのか、あるいはもう続編だけを待った方がいいのでしょうか。
So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in charge of a lot of the Sam Show projects right now, including the action RPG. It's very far out, but I also agree with you. I think Samurai Spirits, Samurai Showdown is one of my favorite IPs in the entire game industry. Yeah, I think we're always making cool stuff, and we've got a little couple of secrets in the works. So you never know. You never know with us.
Sounds good. Now you mentioned the Samurai Showdown RPG. Obviously, also announced Auto Fighting 4. Now, what can you tell us in terms in production? Like how far are we? What's the progress? Kind of these two franchises.
You can answer. Okay, great.
Yeah, I mean, both of those projects, we kind of announced them super early as almost a way to build the team. We need, especially on the action RPG, because we want more action, what would you say, like industry professionals with action game experience and such. So those games are actually fairly far out compared to some of the other stuff we have in the works. So those are super early. They're mostly in like prototyping, pre-production right now. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff with those games especially. And right now it's mostly just about building the team and taking our time on those two projects because they're very important to us. And just making sure that they come out perfect.
So please apply. We're hiring.
So my 4-year-old daughter, she found King of Fighters 13 on her Nintendo Switch just by chance, and she just fell in love with it, and just due to the beautiful graphics and the 2D graphics. Now, do you think down the line is there a chance for 2D to come back? SNK always has been on the top when it comes to 2D graphics. Are there chances for 2D graphics to come back in fighting games, or is it kind of like we're way past that type of art?
You're talking about like SNK's games in general, or just like as looking at the industry?
SNK more.
Oh, okay. 自分の娘がスイッチで、自ら、キングオブファイター13を発見してて、すごい一目惚れっていうか、もうこのゲームのグラフィックすごいなって自分結構遊んでます。でやっぱ考えたら SNK は昔もうドット A といえばもう SNK がもう最強点だと言われてますんで、将来 SNK もその昔の SNK にまたドット A を試すことが期待できますでしょうか。
昔と同じ作り方はもう今のハードウェアで無理なので、でもメタルスラッグシリーズとかでいろいろな挑戦はやっていけると思います。
So, using the hardware that we're working with nowadays is difficult to get those pixel graphics across the way that we used to in the past games. But perhaps with the Metal Slug series, there might be some avenues we can explore there. We've done it with Metal Slug Attack, so that's something that we may consider in the future.
Last question. Should you guys help me settle this one for good? Is it Billy Kane or Billy Kane?
It's Kane. It's Kane.
All right. Because every time I make a video and I say Billy Kane in my videos, I have at least 10 comments saying you do not pronounce it correctly. It's Kane. I was like, no, it is.
Kane. Mark of the Wolves, it's Kane. It's not Kane.
Okay.
In Mark of the Wolves, so that one a lot of people call it Kane. It's Kane.
Okay. Right.
So there's two.
So it's
really two characters. Yes. It's Billy Kane.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I mean, I never knew that as a kid either. And even in Virtual Fighter, I called Kage Cage.
Oh,
for at
Cage,
least 15
all of
years.
us. Yeah, pretty much everyone.
Everybody called Ryu.
Yeah.
It's just natural. But yeah, it is Billy Kane.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. I think on behalf of the SNK community, you guys are doing a great job. We love what we're seeing with City of the Walls. Everybody, I'm pretty sure everyone is excited as I am. So again, thank you so much. Thank you, Oda-san. Thank you, Joshua. And thank you, KK. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very welcome. Thank you again.
Great.
Thank you so much, guys.